Hi, my name is Cody Nickel. I'm currently a third-year student at Carleton University, studying transnational law and switching into business with Sprott. So my trip was the Guatemala trip. It was through an organization called SOS, Students Offering Support. And so we flew down to Guatemala City, and then we bused 9 hours into the mountains in Guatemala in an area that was called Alde de Los Angeles. And the program itself was building a multi-purpose sports court at the local school there. So there were between 200 and 300 students there, and it was a very remote area. And the community felt that there wasn't a safe place for kids to play at recess in between classes after school. When I first went there, I went there with the expectation that it was a labor strict project. And because of the positive response or feedback that we got, it was much more of a community outreach program, where we spent times with the kids, learning camp games, teaching them camp games, learning about their culture, getting tours of the local neighborhood right beside the school. As university students, we set out to go have an impact on a community or a third world country, go make an impact, go make a change somewhere in the world. And as much as that was our intention, because we were so involved with the community and surrounded with these awesome kids the entire week, the impact was a lot more profound on ourselves, I think. I came back with a much different attitude, much different perception on culture and society, and I think that was really important to my development as a student, for sure. One experience that I haven't really talked about actually with a whole lot of people from the trip, I'll tell you a bit of a story. Halfway through the week, we got a tour of the local neighborhood right beside the school. So we're talking, single room houses made of dirt floors and sheet metal and no running water and no electricity in a lot of these houses. And we got a whole tour and saw how they cooked and saw how they bathed and really got to jump right in. There was a child that was with me. It would have been about 7 or 8 years old. His name was Jairo, and he was holding my hand the entire time and pulling me around. And it was because I had a really nice Canon camera with me that I brought along the trip, and he was trying to learn how to take pictures with it. So I taught him, and we were taking pictures of different things. And near the end of this guided tour, he pulled me towards a house. So one of the tour guides said, "Oh, he's trying to pull you into his house, he's trying to show you his house." So this child pulled me in through this courtyard into this little 2-room shack, I guess, made out of sheet metal. And he pulled me into the kitchen, and on the kitchen there was a little tiny table, and there was food and water put out for dinner. He was trying to get me to eat with his family. And so that right there, that kind of, pulled at my heartstrings a little bit, and I said, no, I can't, but thank you so much. And I bumped into his mother and introduced myself to his mother in broken Spanish. And she handed me some fruit, and off I went. A couple hours later, there was a little corner store right beside the school, kind of like a canteen or a quickie. And we were all there buying chocolate bars or whatever, and he showed up. Well, he showed up with another group of kids, and I didn't really want to buy him a treat because I didn't want I didn't want it to be unfair for the other kids. So I snuck him a coin. It's called a quetzal is what their currency is, and it would be about equivalents of 20 cents Canadian. So I handed him 20 cents Canadian. And he went and immediately bought a specific bag of chips and came back out. And I knelt down and I said, "Hey, what'd you get?" And I wasn't expecting any kind of response. I just wanted to see what he got. And instead of showing me, he opened the bag of chips and he handed one chip out of the bag to each of the group members in my group, to the point that he had one chip left in his bag, ate it with a grin on his face, and walked away. That experience in itself that made my week, in the sense that, like, if this 6-year-old can show that kind of compassion, then we have a big responsibility and a big duty here to, think the same way. And it's amazing what you can learn from a 6-year-old, I guess. So that was probably my favorite memory that I'll probably hold with me for the rest of my life, and I definitely won't forget that kid for sure. Thanks so much to any of the existing donors and anybody who's helped subsidize the trips that we've been fortunate to enough to go on. The ASB experience added a whole nother level to my undergraduate degree. It changed me as a person. It contributed to what I want to do after school. And I think that speaks volumes in itself. So I guess thank you so much to everybody who was involved. And I hope that this program can continue for years to come to provide students with a similar experience that I was able to get.